All right. Good Monday morning, everyone. Welcome to First 15 at 8:15. This is Rich. Thank you so much for joining us. As always, on Mondays, we have Monday's sort of our guest day when we open up the First 15s to any and every person, any and every real estate agent that would like to access it. Anyone you'd like to turn on to this can go to realestategradschool.com and hit on the free webinar link and register for Monday webinars. And then, of course, we do these every day of the week for all of our coaching clients. We're going to spend about 10 or 12 minutes solidly on content, so this is not a sales pitch. This is really just a demonstration of how real estate coaching clients, real estate grad school coaching clients, have the opportunity to spend the first 15 minutes of their day getting motivated, educated, etc. All right. We do have live Q&A calls for coaching clients, 8:30 and 11:30, and I don't just say that on Mondays. We say that every Monday and Wednesday. So please do call in at 8:30 and or 11:30 for East and West Coast people. Let's talk about our topic for the month of April, which we're going to extend into the first week or two of May, is really personal marketing. And when I talk about personal marketing, I distinguish it by saying personal marketing because we're not talking about marketing your listings. We're talking about marketing you. And we've talked about some of the key topics. We talked about sphere of influence marketing. We talked about branding and creating your brand. And I wanted to make sure, and then we spent the last week of April really talking about organization and time management, which I didn't put a little piece in today to our first 15, but I will begin to do that regularly. Just reminding people to start their day with the 10 minutes of planning. Start their day with a tool we call the Daily Organizational Checklist, which we'll be happy to provide to any of you if you just email us about it. The best tool in real estate for organizing and starting your day. But today, the last topic I want to talk about on marketing is really farming, geographic or geo-farming. And let's start with a comment that top agents farm. When you look at the top agents in your area, most of them will have a geographic area or a type of property that they focus on. If not most of them, many of them, and many of the highest producing ones. Now, some in today's world will be buying lots and lots and lots of their leads from the internet, and they've got a team with lots of people, and they're spending thousands or tens of thousands of dollars a month, literally, on buying leads from the internet. But they have to continue to buy leads. It doesn't create any permanence unless they're also engaging the people who do business with them. They're putting those people in a database and continuing to follow up and creating a sphere of influence and or a farm campaign. So there are other ways to generate leads, but if you want a business with permanence, you're really going to be marketing to your sphere of influence and creating geographic farm areas. So top agents absolutely farm. However, farming is your second priority. Your sphere of influence is always your first priority, and your farming, your geographic, your geo-farming is always your second priority. And why is that? Think to yourself for a minute, why is your geographic farming a second priority and your sphere of influence farming first priority? Why? And perhaps you can realize, you've heard me speak about before, the reason is the people in your geographic farm don't know you yet until they become a client, you invite them over, and then they become part of your sphere of influence. But the people in your geographic farm area who don't know you very well, they're likely to do business with you because they think you're the best person to do business with them in the farm area, and that's the initial goal. But the people in your sphere of influence are not only going to do business with you, they're going to send you business. They're going to refer you. You really are, they really have become advocates of yours who are going to send you business. So if you send a piece of mail to 500 people in a farm area, you will get some leads as long as you do that correctly, do that the way we teach you to. But when you send 500 pieces of mail to people in your sphere of influence, and it's an effective mailing, again, the way we teach it at Real Estate Grad School, when you send a piece of mail that's built to remind people that you're in real estate and you're good at it, you're likely to get many more referrals, and you'll get them more often in between the times that you're sending the mailings. So sphere of influence is your first priority. We spent, probably 2 weeks talking about sphere of influence, but now we're going to begin talking about farming. So how do you farm? How do you serve the most people? How do you farm to serve the most people in your farm as quickly as possible? Okay, in other words, how do you farm to make sales and money as quickly as possible? See, there was always a rumor about farming, and it's just one of those awful mistakes that people taught for years. And what they taught was that farming takes a long time, that if you're going to farm an area, you need to be mailing to it and communicating with it, for 6 months or longer before you'll see any results. And the reason they taught that was because they didn't really understand how to market to the farm area. And that if you market doing the right things and sending the right things, you're going to get business very quickly. So I know their heart was in the right place. I know a lot of these guys who taught that stuff. I never taught it because it didn't make sense to me. It didn't make sense to me that you turn your attention to an area, you market to it, and it takes 6 months. Man, it just didn't make sense. So we always worked, and I always worked to send something that would get business right away, and I always have. And I've always taught you to. So how do you send something? How do you farm in a way that gets you business quickly and then continues to get you more and more business consistently? And that's what we're going to teach you over the next few days. We're going to do a pretty good overview of it now. If we have a chance to get through all of it, I think we will. There are 8 pieces, and this is an overview of those. Oops. Oh, one more slide. This wasn't in my notes, so let's go over it. Farming the real estate grad school way works immediately, and then the results increase over time, and then consistent and continuous results occur permanently. You continue to get a flow of business from your farm. As a matter of fact, your name in your farm area becomes one of the pieces of equity in your business. So those agents who build all their business, or the majority of their business, from prospecting, now maybe when they go to sell their business, they can sell the relationships with their inside and outside sales agents. Those people who generate their business from internet leads, maybe, well, you know what, they can't really sell though. I guess they could sell those relationships with the internet leads, but it's going to continue to cost the person but thousands of dollars a month or more. But those agents who build their business on farming and sphere of influence build businesses that have real equity that can be sold for much, much more and have much, much more value to any other agent who may want to take over the business. So there's lots of benefits of building your business based on sphere of influence and geographic farming. So here's the 8 steps. We're going to go over them in a little bit more detail, but here's the overview. You do the first thing you want to do is do a CMA drive around, and what I mean by that is make a list of all the properties for sale, sold, pending, expired, withdrawn, every property that is in your farm area. Sort them by street and then by number so that you can start, you have them all on one street in one place, either on your screen or on paper, and you're driving, you go to a street, you drive down that street, pause and take a look at each home. Get a sense for the neighborhood, for what sells for more, what sells for less, what parts of the neighborhood sell for more, what parts of the neighborhood are more desirable. And you go through every street in your farm area and really get a sense of that. Now, while you're doing that, or after you've done that, go to see every home for sale in your farm area. Now, some of you who, if you've heard me teaching this for the first time, are going, wait a minute, isn't farming just about like sending stuff to them? Well, maybe it is when other people teach it, and that's why their results are so mediocre. No, farming is becoming the absolute expert about real estate in that farm area, where you know more than any other agent, and you can get to know more than any other agent very quickly, because these first few things I'm going to suggest that you do, very few, if any, agents do them. Hell, just by doing the CMA drive around and seeing every home that's currently for sale in your farm area probably makes you more knowledgeable about what's currently for sale in your farm area than any other agent. And then very quickly, as you see every new listing that comes up, very quickly, within a month or 2 or 3, you're going to be as knowledgeable as just about anybody. Unless somebody's really gotten to know your farm area very, very well, you're going to become the neighborhood expert. Now, that's important because doing that, every time you speak to someone in your farm area, you're going to know more. They're going to see you as the expert. And you've heard me tell this story before. I worked for a company, Judy Columbus Realtors, and Judy insisted, I mean really insisted, that each of the 9 of us who worked in our office see every single house that came up for sale in the entire town of Brighton. Now, not quite all of Brighton, but high-end Brighton. And Brighton Schools, we called it. And man, the whole community knew if you wanted to know anything about Brighton, if you wanted to buy a house or sell a house in Brighton, if you wanted the greatest experts, you hired somebody from Judy Columbus Realtors. And this gives you the same advantage and same recognition of expertise. So those first 3 right there, CMA drive around, see every home for sale, see every new listing that comes up as soon as possible, those begin to establish you in your farm area as expert as people get to know that you do that. Number 4, you then send an initial farm mailing, and that becomes your annual farm mailing. Now, I'm going to show you this tomorrow. But what this farm mailing is it's a list of all the homes that have sold in the farm area over the last 12 to 18 months, and it has either their addresses or the street names, bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage, and a conclusion from you. It's a list of all those homes, and it has a letter that goes with it. It's a conclusion from you about what's going on in the market, what has gone on in the market. When people receive that, they go, wow, that's interesting. It actually says on it for them to keep it with their other important housing documents. So when they receive that from you, they go, wow, here's somebody who really is focused on area, knows our area. Some people mistakenly think that you've sold all those homes, even though they're a list of all the homes that are sold for sale. Not a bad inference to make. In some states, could be Texas is one of them. In some states, you're not allowed to do this. In some states, you have to actually put the name of the agent next to it, so check with your state law. I don't want you to be breaking any rules or regulations of your MLS or anything else. And then after you sent the initial mailing, you continue to see every home that comes up for sale, and you begin to sell relevant, branded, regular mailings. And again, we'll show you samples of those over the next day or 2. But you can imagine just doing this, you're already establishing yourself as knowledgeable and yourself as a person who's really aware of what's going on in the area. Very often, that first mailing piece that has all the homes for sale and a well-written letter with it from you saying that you're focusing on this area, that you expect to get the highest price for every homeowner, often that initial mailing will get you leads and listings right from the beginning. Then the next 2 pieces, that was 1 through 5, 6 and 7 are to walk your farm and knock your farm. Now, you can walk your farm and just drop off, or knock your farm, and you might drop off a list of the most recent sales. You might drop off something about what's going on in the marketplace. You might drop off more detail about the current homes for sale in the area. You do want it to be real estate related. Don't just drop off a calendar or drop off something nice. You'll do that at some point with them. You might add that to it, but you want it to be another educational piece, another valuable piece that really helps people know something about their area and know that you're the expert there. And then you pursue every expired and every old expired. You look back at every house that's expired and hasn't been relisted and sold in the farm area. That's an old expired. And every for sale by owner in your farm area, because if you're going to really be the expert in the farm, you don't want any house to expire or any home to come on the market, no matter who puts it on the market, that you're not aware of, and you get as much information as possible about. And then the last stage, you begin to set up events, get involved in community events, have an interaction with the people at community events, send property need letters. You can do that actually much earlier on. And you'll find as you build your name and your reputation in your farm area, your property need letters are much, much, much more effective. So farming the real estate grad school way works immediately, then results increase over time, and then you get consistent and continuous results permanently as long as you're keeping up the campaign. And then you can add additional farm areas so that you're just expanding your sphere of influence. And I've got clients who sell hundreds of houses a year who have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different farm areas, and they absolutely dominate, do 30, 40, 50% or more of all the sales in their farm area. So your ingredient for your recipe of success today, select your next farm area and schedule at least one preview, and then begin to preview every home that comes up for sale, and we'll be talking about this over the next couple days. Those of you that are not coaching clients, you can join us. You make more money, enjoy your career and your life more. The group coaching program is only $49 a month with a $99 startup fee, but no charge to call us, talk to us about that, get to know us, stop by on Mondays, and be back every day to learn more and more about your business. The first 15s are just one of the many assets, including the live calls, including the library, including a startup call where we set your business plan for the year. So hug the ones you love, make a great day, call for more information, and all of you who are with us every day, our coaching clients, thank you so much for being there. The relationships we've built, the confidence we have in you, and the confidence you have in us makes us extremely grateful. Hug the ones you love, make a great day, be well, make a sale, bye.